Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Dan, I do not dispatch outside carriers at this time. Dry van, Reno, Nevada. We were just in Reno, Nevada. I mean, last week when we got stuck in the West Coast, we were also in Reno, Nevada for flatbed. And usually there are longer loads there that they don't pay well, but there's something to choose from. And if you wait long enough, you can negotiate. There was nothing. The West Coast is absolutely terrible. Hi, Angelica. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Alfredo. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Truckin' with Rick. Hi, Tutor. Columbus, Ohio has nothing. $500 loads. What is that for? Is it for dry van, reefer, flatbed? We just finally managed to get loads to out of the West Coast and to a more normal place, I suppose. So hopefully it all works out. Hello, everybody. Conestoga, guys, anyone who works on a Conestoga, can you help I Love KG out? Conestoga is something that I was looking into for a while, but the rent, because we rent our trailers, the rent of those Conestogas was just not worth it. I know that the loads for those Conestogas do pay a little bit better than what are they called? Flatbeds, and then you don't really have to tarp, which is also good. But yeah, other than that, after I saw the rental price, I realized no, I'm not doing it. Oh, double broker bounty hunter in the house. Love it. Logistics fraud prevention. Love it. Lost my behind in California this week. I'm gone to Florida. Yeah, I mean, especially I like I can't give you my experience with flatbed, not flatbed, sorry, dry vans and reefers in the West Coast because we are a flatbed carrier. But I know that the West Coast was absolutely horrific. We lost really the first week of February in the West Coast trying to get out, and when you're trying to get a decent rate per mile. And also go to a normal place, it doesn't work that way. If you want a decent rate per mile, you get stuck there. It's unbelievable. Hello, hello. Do you have any updates on the Houston area? So Houston, I know that for flatbeds, and I know this pretty well, it's a hit and miss, right? There are going to be more loads there. Sometimes, depending also on the day of the week, you might be able to get a decent rate from Houston or even Dallas, Fort Worth area, but it's not going to take you to a decent area. Most of the loads from Houston or Dallas that pay really, really well for flatbeds, for example, either go to Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, or somewhere like, what is it called? Like somewhere like Amarillo, Texas, Amarillo, Texas, depending on how you pronounce it. Yeah, it goes to dead areas, unfortunately. This is what I have noticed, and actually, this has been true regardless of what season we're in. Market is so bad. Tell me about it. It's actually a mess. Really, it's a mess. Again, I think that my view of the market is also a little bit skewed because we did start in the West Coast, and that market is absolutely horrific for flatbeds. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit skewed. I'm going to know a little bit more next week once we start running through more or less, or more decent areas, I suppose, for flatbeds just to see what is going on. But the fact that the market has gone down from January is absolutely true. Reasonable, again, this is a question for those who uh, work on Conestogas. What's a reasonable price to pay for a Conestoga? I remember when I was looking to rent one, we're paying about $1,100 for per flatbed to rent it. Now the Conestoga was $3,300 per month, which was just absolutely no, absolutely no. Um, Dry van. So dry van from yeah, Columbus, Ohio to Chicago, $500 loads. Yeah, dry van fell. Unfortunately, dry van is now on average on the spot market is again less than $2 per mile. There was a moment there where it was above $2 per mile. It's insane. I think it has to do, first of all, the rejections fell like crazy. And I think that has to do with the fact that some of the capacity that left in January for the time being, either because of weather or because people were taking some holidays, after Christmas and New Year. I don't know why people left, but it happens, the second January in a row that this happens. So maybe capacity came in. I know that the volumes are much lower than last year at this time. A lot of people say, well, February, this is normal for February to be bad. And they're absolutely right. The thing is, what's not normal is the fact that volumes are way below this same time last year, right? So the question is, what's driving those volumes right now, driving them down? Hi, Earl. All right, I think this is a question for I Love KG, flatbed Conestoga or step deck Conestoga in terms of reasonable price. Hauling propane from Winnipeg back to North Dakota. Yeah, North Dakota's fun. Um, it's freezing there. Freezing, freezing. Love your page. Thank you. I listen all the time. What's your take on the capacity? Seems like that's still a big issue. Yeah, capacity is definitely a very, very big issue. Yeah, if we look, at the number of MCs increasing or decreasing net every week. Last week we saw, I think, 38 people come in, or 38 MCs opened net, which means after taking into consideration how many shut down their MCs versus how many came in. But usually they're decreasing. They're not decreasing fast enough for us to feel a difference. Plus, there is this really big gap in the market, and that's the capacity that leaves and comes back without anyone knowing. Right. There's also a gap of those folks who have all of their equipment paid off, which is the way, to do it, especially in a challenging market. And they are able to park their trucks until the market gets better. Right. They're not shutting down their MCs. They're just parking their trucks and they're kind of invisible, incognito. But yeah, capacity is still a very, very big issue. Vadim, hi Miranda, happy Friday. I hope it was a good one. It is. It's starting off pretty good. I got to run on the treadmill today, which I hate doing, but hey, that's a way to start um, start the Friday. Thank you, Killer for Cash. Always 7.77. I love it. Thank you so much. Everything is going to be just fine. Just remember to breathe and count your blessings. Yes. Okay. So I do have to agree here. Count your blessings and pick your battles, right? I'm trying to actually be a little bit more. I have a problem uh, and this is so going off topic, but I have a problem with the fact that I keep going, right? In terms of I'm always looking for the next thing. So one of the things I'm trying to learn right now is to be grateful for what I already have, like for what goes right in this industry. It is hard sometimes, but yeah, very, very important. Count your blessings, pick your battles. um, oh, there we go. Good afternoon, fellow trucking professionals. Yes. Killer for Cash. I love your comments under the videos. Like the sassy hair thing. This is what happens when you stand in the rain. All the stuff you put in your hair to make it pretty, it just goes. um, just want to say that you have really helped me out as an owner operator. Thank you for all the updates you give. Thank you so much, Trucking with Rick. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching. All right. Flatbed 53 foot. I guess this is in terms of the Conestoga flatbed 53 foot. And just a follow up question, how much was the rental fee for Conestoga? As I said, it was $3,300 per month, which was insane. What's the rate per mile for van? Not included this week. I'm at 260, 280 per mile, Midwest, East, and South. I think last week it was $2. The average for dry van was less than $2.10 per mile. It fell by 9 cents. Now it was like $2.06 per mile, not 60, 2.06. That was the average. So you are booking bill above average. Stacking partials is the only way to survive these days. You know what? I would have to, on one hand, agree that there are people who are really good at that. This is not my strong suit. We actually got a pretty decent partial remember, I said we were stuck in Reno, Nevada, and we got a pretty decent partial from Reno going up to, I believe it was North Dakota or Wyoming, I can't remember now. It was pretty decent, and we were looking to book another one. I was not able to book, so that load it was a fail. I was not able to find a partial to add. Mhm. Um, any tips for dispatching needs some courage. So Angelica, tips in terms of finding better loads or in terms of explaining the load board rates and what is offered to your clients. What kind of tips? If it's in terms of finding better loads, it's literally about, how do I explain this? Finding better loads, it's very much luck on one hand in this market, which is what I can't stand. There is no consistency. And it's also learning markets, right? Every single equipment type will have that one market you can fall back on, or a couple of markets that will usually pay better than anywhere else. Another issue is, of course, staying within good areas, because usually, at least what happens to me is we get to a good market and then I get super excited about a really good rate and I forget about the fact that, oh, it's going to a really bad market. And the day after tomorrow, I'm going to be struggling to get him or back to the market where we need to be. So question for you, what kind of tips in terms, like, narrow it down for me a little bit. Florida is terrible for dry and refrigerator. It's okay for about 3 months. Yeah, I would argue also for flatbeds. Florida is dead. Which state is good for cold calling? Give me a suggestion. I do not call. You mean shippers? So I haven't cold called shippers. We have some direct shippers we're in contact with, but we're never able to get to those areas on a consistent basis. And those are all in the South. What's your take on step decks in the Wisconsin area? So I'm going to be quite honest with you. Step decks, I had a really bad experience, and it has nothing to do with step decks as much as it has to do with me being a complete moron when renting a step deck. We rented a step deck without levelers, without ramps, basically just a step deck. And we were not able to take step deck loads, and we were limited on flatbed loads because not all flatbed loads will go on a step deck without that load leveler. So it was a bad idea. Yeah, in terms of the Wisconsin area, I can tell you just from my experience with flatbeds in that area, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, yeah, you have to wait there. You will not get anything on a Saturday or Sunday during this time of year. Sometimes a little bit closer to the warmer months, you might. But Wisconsin and Minnesota and Illinois, Iowa, the eastern part of Iowa, you can get pretty decent rates, keeping you in good markets if you are prepared to wait. This is just, yeah, from my experience. Thank you, Earl, so much for your support. How do new carriers fill out the IRP form that asks how many miles they run in each state? They haven't driven any miles yet. Usually, the way I filled it out is they didn't ask how many miles you drove in each state. I mean, they don't require it. I just check off the states, or I checked off the states that we are going to be running in, right? I know that with IRP, they ask for an IFTA account, and sometimes you don't have it yet, so you can just put in easily not available yet. Yeah. Where was I? To hell with Florida. I was hoping Florida rates would have gone up when hell froze over, 9 inches of snow. No such luck. Yeah, no, Florida, not much coming out of Florida, unfortunately. I've never had luck with Florida. The only time where we were looking to go to Florida was when we were just starting out with a reefer. We would get loads from Pennsylvania to Florida. We were able to negotiate such rates which would pay for the deadhead to Savannah, Georgia. This is how we used to do it. Now the rates, at least for flatbeds to Florida, no. I see flatbed rates, and these are not partials. They are 45, 48,000 pounds, and they pay like $1.70. It's like, no, no way. Uh, oh, I just answered your question. I'm trying to learn how to fill out an IRP form in Iowa, and there's an impossible PDF file I have to fill out that wants to know how many miles I drive in each state. I have no idea. Yeah, just try putting not available. It works in California, and I'm guessing in Iowa it's going to be a little easier than in California because California controls everything. Just put not available yet. If they tell you no, you have to put in miles, I mean, yeah, you have to talk to someone. You can't estimate. It depends where the loads go. Amarillo is the correct pronunciation. Amarillo. Yeah, everyone's everyone like no matter how I pronounce it, it used to be Amarillo, then it was Amarillo because someone corrected me. So now I'm confused. So Amarillo. Capacity is officially going down. ICE arresting illegal immigrant drivers at a massive rate. ICE busted over 500 drivers nationwide so far. Yeah, you know what? I actually heard that ICE, I don't remember where I heard it from, but there was some kind of article saying that ICE officers are hanging out at truck stops. Yeah, sorry. I don't drink enough water, so I slather lip balm. Thank you so much. Everywhere is bad, pain only. I would disagree with you. Not everywhere is bad. The problem is that there's no consistency, and staying in relatively better areas is very, very difficult. I look like a witch. I'm so sorry. Staying in relatively better areas is very, very difficult. And another problem is that the market goes with the no consistency. The market changes so quickly. So, for example, I've had situations where, we book a load to somewhere like Fort Worth area, right? And on the way there, it takes 2 days to get to Fort Worth from somewhere like Illinois or Wisconsin, Minnesota. Takes 2 days. And you look at the load board beforehand and it looks decent. Okay, you find some loads that will work for you to keep you in better areas. You get there, there is nothing left. And I'm also not one, especially in this culture of trucking, I stopped pre-booking loads because I don't trust brokers, for lack of a better word, because if you have to cancel, something can go wrong at delivery. With flatbeds, you have situations where you get to delivery, you call them beforehand and say, hey, I'm going to be there, my ETA is this and this. You get to delivery and they're like, yeah, I don't have anyone to unload you, so you have to come back tomorrow. And you have to cancel that load. You never know, are they going to freight guard you? What's going to happen? Yeah. February is always messed up. Take a vacay. Yeah, February is always messed up. It's just particularly interesting with volumes this year because volumes are way lower than this exact time last year. Uh, you got to be in the South for flatbed. I would argue even the Midwest. I would argue that you can get some, again, it has to do with if you're ready to wait. Uh, My mom always tells me, she's like, you have to understand the value of time because I can wait forever on the load board. And she's like, you're waiting too long. You have to understand the value of time. But this is my style. I do like waiting for a better load to come out. So the Midwest is that kind of place where, yeah, if you wait long enough, something's going to come out and it's not going to kick you out of the market that you've been trying to get to for so long. I've been crushing it in the Midwest on hot shots. There we go. For a flatbed Conestoga, it's usually $3 per mile, but you have to keep you in contact with previous brokers you worked for before because usually they have Conestoga loads only repeatedly. Interesting. 3,300 a month is insane. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so delayed with the comments. My apologies. I'm trying to move faster. But yeah, that's why I stopped looking into Conestoga altogether. That amount was just not worth it. Tariff uncertainty is, I'm going to butcher this word. I know how to pronounce it in my head. Exact ex, yeah, basically screwing with volumes. Yes. um Low pro step deck and install Conestoga on it. Let's see. Hi, how can I activate an UMC without a truck? So that is a difficult, that's a challenging position because what you need in order to get insurance, you need the VIN number of the truck and they will usually also ask for your MC number. But yeah, and in order to activate an MC number, you need that insurance. So if anyone can help, I'm sure there are ways. How can you activate an UMC without a truck? Uh, as you are aware, January and February is abundantly slow annually. Yes, 100%. January and February, I remember there is a funny story that I always tell. The first year I mean, we started in October. We started running in October of 2019. And January 2020, because I didn't understand anything about trucking. I was just going with the flow. I remember logging into the DAT load board and there were almost no loads. And I thought that there was a glitch in the system. So I called the DAT load board. I'm like, I think your load board isn't working. And they're like, are you aware that it's January? Yeah, that was an interesting, embarrassing moment. But yeah, usually January and February are slow. I would argue, however, that based on last year and this year, January has actually been better. I don't know what it has to do with weather, capacity leaving. I don't know, but January has been better, at least for flatbeds. I do believe an end is coming for spot carriers, and I wish I'm wrong. Hopefully, you're wrong. Beware of chameleon carriers, scammers, all. Yep, absolutely. Chameleon carriers, as far as I understand, these are folks who have one MC and then they open another MC, but it's the same company and they keep going and going. But there's some kind of, I need to make a video on it. I need to research it a little bit. There's some kind of new thing. The FMCSA is now given more power to prevent fraud. Yeah. Many warehouses front loaded similar to what happened during COVID due to the rhetoric associated with the application or increasing of tariffs. Let's see how this unravels. Yeah, I don't want to make any guesses. I'm just watching and basically eating popcorn to see what comes next. um, Also, paid off equipment allows profits at lower rates. 100%. Yeah, I was looking at our numbers a few days ago and I was just kind of eliminating things that if they weren't there, right? like certain equipment payments, there are a lot of different things. My goodness, we would be making a profit off the lowest rates available on the load board. But unfortunately, the majority of people do have equipment payments, and it's very hard. I have learned that as much as you want to cut expenses, it's not, it sounds easy in theory, but it's not as easy in practice. Yeah. It's easier to wait for a load that pays well. um, I didn't fully understand your question, Lee. Thank you, IT. Stop expecting low rates. Yeah, I agree with you. The thing is, I think maybe not as much as in January, but in general, I think still carriers have more negotiating power now than they did 4 months ago or so. But I think people are so jaded that they expect that the rates are just low and they believe what's on the load board. The only thing that calms me down is that I see again, on Truck Stop, there's that views button, and it shows you how many carriers have clicked on the load. I mean, it shows like in terms of, I guess, below, be the first to view, etc. Now, I have asked Truck Stop, it would be great if they were to add the actual number of carriers clicking on loads, but there are a lot of loads with low views, which makes me happy. Hi from Miami. $1.35 per mile out of here. Yeah. Um, oof, this is a question that will vary. What's the normal weekly pay for a truck rent? That is going to vary, and that's going to vary also from where you're renting the truck. Do you mean lease purchase programs? If so, if anyone knows, like, what is the normal weekly pay for a truck rent? That I have received some emails from different folks sharing how much they're paying for these trucks. They're paying way more in a lot of cases than what you would if you finance the truck. Like if you take the weekly payments and do it monthly, yeah, it's insane. Flatbed, $1.35 per mile out of Miami. Yep. Yeah. Florida is beautiful. And from what I hear, has amazing roads, but not great for freight. Anything less than $2 per mile is unacceptable. I agree. I agree. Sorry. Sad this entire week. Everything taking any load at any price this week. I can't even get calls to go through. Yeah, no, this week has been, again, I don't know if it was just the fact that we got stuck in the West Coast and there's not much here and it's just crap. Um, Yeah, I haven't been receiving, no, you know what? That's not true. I have been receiving calls from brokers, but it has been all for loads that were from the South or the Midwest asking, "Do you have a truck there?" No calls on posted trucks, no calls on, yeah, no ability to get through easily. So quite interesting. Sorry. Why dispatching is failing in 2025? I don't think it's failing, but I think maybe it's slowing down, and it has to do with the fact that carriers, owner operators, your clients basically, they are not making enough and they're trying to cut their expenses where they can. I also think it has to do with the competition in dispatching services right now. It's insane, the competition. Really, really insane. And the thing is, you're not competing with folks who are in the United States. You're competing with the rest of the world because dispatching, usually the cheapest dispatchers are in other countries. Yeah. Uh, oops. Just got my authority, waiting on my California number. What should I expect next? Are you going to be driving interstate or only in California? I would get an MCP permit once you get your California number, IRP, of course, IFTA, if you're interstate. And then focus on getting, if you're interstate and you're planning to work the lower 48, get a New Mexico permit, Kentucky permit. It's not expiring. New Mexico is, you have to renew it every year. Oregon permit, if you're looking to go to Oregon. Um, then we have the Connecticut, I believe, permit, New York permit. Never worked on a more unstable market in my 10 years of dispatching. Yeah, that's the thing. It really is unstable. It's unpredictable. It goes all sorts of ways, loop-de-loops all around. And I think that is the hardest part. Yeah. Wondering if I could change my corporate structure from LLC to nonprofit organization. I don't know. That is an interesting question. I've never looked into that. I'm sure there's a way to do it, though. If anyone knows, let us know. Our dispatching is going strong. It's more about knowing who to work with. We have never had to advertise our dispatching. All dispatch clients are by referral. Yeah, that's the best way. I think that's the best way when all your clients are by referral. It builds trust faster. I heard ICE is really cracking down on a lot of illegal immigrant drivers per AP News and Bloomberg. This is causing capacity issues, showing how bad the trucking market really is. Wow. Yeah, again, I also heard that I read somewhere that ICE officers, agents, they're hanging out on truck stops. Yeah. Box truck is out of the race. What's happening with flatbed trucks? In the latest videos, that look seems quite bad. Look, flatbeds, I'm going to bring seasonality back into this, of course. Flatbeds, they don't have much to move during this time. Flatbeds are strongly tied to construction, right? So in about, usually what happens, in around March, April, you're going to see a lot of machinery moving, right? And then in the warmer months, you're going to see a lot of other construction materials moving, increasing those volumes, because during warmer months is when construction actually starts up again. Yeah, so flatbeds are really seasonal because the loads are exposed to the elements and they're tied to construction. In terms of outlook, last week's flatbed rates showed that they did increase on the spot market, but in general, yeah, flatbeds, we started working with flatbeds about 2 years ago, and just seeing how the rates crashed over the past 2 years, it's insane. And from the data, I gather that it has to do more, not with the volume per se of the loads, but with the increased capacity. It seems like folks from dry vans, sometimes reefers, they decided to try their hand at flatbeds, hoping that this is where they're going to make more money. Flatbeds and hot shots will pick back up in about a month. Construction season is coming soon. There we go. I love how I go on a tangent and then someone answers the question. They are on truck stops. You mean the ICE agents? Have you ever lost money on a load? If so, what occurred and what lesson did you learn from a circumstance? Yeah, of course. 5 years. There have been times when you lose money on a load. There have been times when the market started really, really going down. There were times out of panic, I would book a load just trying for any rate just to get to a better market. Now, was I crucified for it when I shared it on YouTube? Yeah, I was. But it was right. You know, you can't. I learned something. Even in a bad market, if you wait long enough, there is going to come a moment where this one load will come out if you're just staring at your load board. The question is it worth spending 7, 8 hours on the load board in order to cover a truck? In my case, I don't mind it. I enjoy waiting. So yeah, for me, it's worth it. But yeah, of course, I have lost money on a load, and it was what lesson did you learn? Don't do it. You have to remember your cost per mile because you have to look at the bigger picture. If you're running for less than your cost per mile, what's the point? You're killing your truck. You're not making any money. You're losing money. You're basically paying to haul these loads. You're killing your truck. Are you doing it just for the ability to say I hauled something? Yeah. So that, I guess that's the lesson I learned. Because there was a time where I would be like, "No, we have to haul something, anything." But over time, over the years, you just learn that, listen, there's the cost per mile, which will vary from month to month, but there's the cost per mile. You can't go below, you're losing money. Yeah. According to the locals, Amarillo is the English pronunciation, not the Spanish pronunciation. Amarillo versus Amarillo. Yeah, it means yellow in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. On the new IRP applications, DMV has a filled form as an average miles driven by a company in your state. It's already completed. That's for new accounts only. At least that's how it is in Nevada. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. You don't have to lose entirely on a double brokered load. In most cases, we have been able to collect from the real broker or a double broker situation. You have up to 18 months on interstate loads to claim. Yeah, no, I there was a moment where we got caught up in one of those crazy schemes. We collected from the receiver. Well, sort of from the receiver. It was such a messy situation. We collected actually the receiver and the original carrier, they were working together. So the original carrier actually paid us, but it was a mess. It was a complete mess. Um, I have been lucky with Omaha, Nebraska area with the flatbed step deck, but it's risky. Market changes quickly. 100%. 1 week, that market is going to be great. And 1 week, it's absolute crap. Sorry if you hear my little one in the background. Mm. Is it true prices are same on average before COVID? People who's complaining on prices or whoever spent during COVID? No, no. So rate wise, when I look at our rates, rates went down, of course, but if we're looking at pre-COVID levels, they didn't go down by that much. The problem is that the cost of everything increased, right? So the rates are supposed to go with the cost of everything. This is why people are so pissed off because some people say it's so unfair. The cost of everything increased, but the cost of transportation decreased. Yeah, this is the problem. I did this in the beginning of my DOTMC numbers. You can just insure a family vehicle or a vehicle you already have. There are also YouTube videos with insurance companies that will supply a VIN. Okay, so this is the answer to the question of can you start an MC number, activate an MC without a truck? Thank you so much, Turk182. And there is another one. You can activate a new MC without a truck, but like if you have a pickup truck, any pickup truck, because some of those come with fifth wheels, you can use the VIN from the pickup truck and insure that pickup truck. Perfect. Thank you, Charles. Oh, wait. However, there is a however. You have to keep that vehicle insured and the whole time to keep the MC. Interesting. Thank you so much. Spot market will never go away. We need to be smarter to operate in it to be profitable. Yeah, I a lot of people will disagree with me. Obviously, I enjoy the spot market because again, it gives me the ability to keep my finger on the pulse. It gives me the real situation of the market, and yeah, it teaches you not to get what is the word complacent. You really have to kind of be on your toes. I do like the spot market. My lease purchase was 625 weekly. Let's calculate. Oops, 320. Sorry, I'm calculating your numbers. $2,500. Yeah, that That seems reasonable. I would say I'm comparing to our financing, monthly financing payments for equipment. Just joining, please avoid Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Hi, Sasha. What equipment type? I mean, which equipment should not go to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama? Hi, Chevy Speed. Do you anticipate an increase in demand for truck drivers in the oil field? If so, how are you preparing for it? I have not, I'll be honest with you, I'm so focused on dry vans, reefers, and flatbeds right now because that is the data that's provided by Sonar and all these databases that I use to study the market and make videos that I haven't really. First of all, I haven't seen much on the specialized equipment. So I have not been preparing for it. But if anyone can answer this question, we would appreciate it. Oh, and that's a follow-up to opening activating an MC without a truck. You have to prove the company no longer owns that vehicle in your fleet, the pickup truck, basically. I had to show them my parents sold the vehicle. They used it for, oh, you mean to remove it from insurance? Yeah, 100%. Something you guys, those of you who are just looking to get in, adding a truck to liability and cargo insurance doesn't apply to physical damage as much. But liability and cargo insurance, when you add a truck, it's really, really easy. To remove it, you really do have to show proof that you no longer own that vehicle. It doesn't matter, if you are just letting that truck sit in a parking lot or in, your facility and it's not moving, it's almost impossible to remove it from insurance. This was my toughest week. Load rates are declining. Yeah, I felt it too. It's been a hard week for sure. It's been just a mess. Uh, we faced the road closure in Oregon. I mean, the load rates were horrific as it is. Road closures in Oregon. There were really, like I said in the last video, I am sorry. I usually keep my mouth quiet about this, but there were some officers like in Truckee from Sacramento to Reno, Nevada. They're officers who don't know the law. And there's nothing you can do because if you argue with them, they're just going to make you sit there. They just don't know the law. It was just a mess this whole week. And getting out of this West Coast was just fantastic. I'm expecting rates from next month. You mean to increase? Here's hoping. I had to remove it from my fleet and show a bill of sale, proving that it's no longer part of my fleet. Finally, I'm in your life. Hi, Fastway Dispatching. Welcome. Um, um, Peter, I'm going to post your comment here, but again, I'm not not as familiar with specialized equipment. There's not much data on it, unfortunately. So if anyone can help Peter out, that would be amazing. Uh, this is a great question. How long did it take? How do you handle getting your truck out of a dead zone? My driver husband sat in Denver, Colorado for 2 days and is livid. It depends on the situation, right? So usually what I will do, I'm very careful about losing days just because I don't know. I just very, very careful about losing days. Doesn't mean that I haven't lost them. What I will do in a dead zone is the first day when the truck is unloaded and is empty in the morning, I will look on that day and also on the next day for loads within 300 miles, with deadhead, whatever. If that doesn't work, there have been moments where I'm not able to book for today or tomorrow a normal load. I will deadhead that truck out. I'm going to deadhead that truck out. That's what I do. Also, sometimes, again, it depends on the situations. There are moments where at the last minute, a good load comes out. That was very true in January. I feel like I had almost good luck or an angel on my shoulder helping me because there were moments where we were in a dead zone and there was nothing coming out, nothing coming out, nothing coming out. And then at 5 o'clock in the evening, a load comes out to a good area from a dead area, paying a good rate per mile, and we would book it. So really depends on the situation. Could you please create a video on IRP account? So no, I can't. And there's only one reason for this. IRP is going to vary state by state. So creating one general one, it would be easier for me if you want IRP information, send me an email and I'm going to look up for your state, your base state, what the documents look like. But if I create a video, it's different for each state. Every state has its own IRP website, and that would be either a very long video or too many videos. Um, Is cold calling strategy enough in 2025, or should we move with another strategy in the market? Again, I don't cold call shippers, but I can assume that probably a lot of them are getting calls because brokers are hungry. Even though brokers are reporting more volume right now from shippers, they have more loads to find capacity for. There are a lot of brokers competing for these loads. So cold calling, I look, I'm old school. I would recommend the best way really is FaceTime, as in actual FaceTime, face to face, going to the office, seeing if anyone is available and say, hi, my name is so and so. I have this kind of capacity. Is there areas of problematic areas that you need addressing? Just try to get that FaceTime with the person. I talked to a guy with 7 trucks and I asked how he is surviving. He told me they double load drive van loads by double stacking. He said that's the only way to make money in this market. Wow, but what about the weight? Like, you mean he's taking 2 full truckloads on one truck at the same time, but what about the weight? What about the weight stations? Uh Oy, is President Trump going to do anything with the rates? I have no idea. I have no idea. I made it a point a few years ago. There was a point where I was trying to predict the market a few years ago. I made it a point never to do that again. I just watch things unfold and I don't make any assumptions because again, everything is unpredictable. For the last 3 years, everything has been very, very unpredictable. Just got MC number, and how long does it take to get active company? Also, do I need to put insurance before getting application pending? So you got an MC number, you need to activate it now. You need an insurance filing. Your insurance, once you get insurance, your insurance is going to file with the FMCSA. You also need BOC3 if you're an interstate carrier. Yeah, and then there is a contest period with them. I believe it's 28 days. Um, any suggestion how to retain the carrier as a dispatcher? Even after providing the top-notch service, carriers become ghosts. I'm really worried what's happening. The question is, what reason are these carriers giving you for leaving? Are they saying that, listen, I can't afford it anymore? Because then it has to do with the market. It has to do with the fact that rates are so bad that they're just kind of going into their profits to pay for a dispatching service, and maybe they feel like they could do it as well. The best way to retain a carrier is, of course, to provide them with really high-paying loads. But I also understand how difficult it is, and I also understand that there is sometimes room for miscommunication between a dispatcher and a carrier or a driver. Um, I've seen that happen in our company. I see it happen every day. Yeah. So the question is, why are they leaving? Is maxi better than flatbed? You know what? I see a lot of maxi loads from the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Um, but only there. I haven't seen them anywhere else. So, question, how is the volume going to be there? Uh, the market is bad, and these receivers and shippers have gotten way too comfortable with disrespecting drivers' time. How did this happen? We let it happen. We really, we let it happen. The fact that they're disrespecting, yeah, and I think a lot of brokers are going to, as I said in one of my videos, one thing I'm noticing is that the big brokers, again, looking at the views on truck stop, the views column, the big brokers are getting either low views or no views at all on their loads. They're starting to lose carriers. And the thing I see happening more and more, this happened recently with JB Hunt, they've been posting a load over and over again for hours. I wasn't booking it. I actually have a pretty good relationship with, not relationship, you can't really build a relationship with JB Hunt, but I haven't been screwed over by them quite yet. So I haven't blacklisted them. I didn't book that load because my guy was unloading in a place where it was a question mark whether they would unload him today or the next day. So I was watching this load get posted and reposted by GB Hunt, and no one was taking it. And then the small broker, no name broker, good credit score, everything, they post that same lane. And that load got covered within like 20 minutes. And they posted it for a higher price as well. So this is something that is happening. And this comes from the fact that big brokers, they sometimes forget that, yeah, without trucks, you don't really have a business, especially non-asset based brokers. You don't really have a business without trucks. And when you consistently, you don't have to disrespect them in terms of words, but you can screw them over in other ways. Yeah, you lose that trust. And I think it is slowly kind of biting them in the butt. Yeah. Uh, I answered this question already. I know I'm a little bit delayed, but I did answer it. And this is again going to be recorded and posted to replay. And I think it's going to have the live chat replay as well. Want higher rates? We have to boycott. Until then, nothing will change. Yeah, boycotting, listen, it's good in theory. It's very, very difficult to achieve in practice. I have learned that the hard way. um, I'm a big fan of yours. I watch your videos daily. You're my motivation and my mentor as well. Thank you for being here for us. Thank you, Fastway Dispatching. I really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. One time I did head from Atlanta to Missouri to get in a better market. Yeah, that has happened to us, not from Atlanta to Missouri, but it's often from like a place like Wyoming or Colorado going to somewhere either like Iowa. I think there were times where we went to Kansas and Nebraska as well. But yeah, the deadheads can be very, very long. We shouldn't be getting nothing less than 250 per mile in 2025. I have to agree, just simply because the price of everything is really, really high. Oklahoma is a good area for flatbed and step deck as well. I actually would disagree with you. Oklahoma has been absolutely terrible. It has overcapacity. It doesn't have enough loads. And, this is from the data, but I'm going to speak just from my experience. Absolutely terrible. And it's really hard to go from Oklahoma to a normal area. You might get a good load going somewhere like to Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and then get stuck there. But Oklahoma hasn't been really good to us, at least. There is one broker I work with, though, from Oklahoma delivering to Iowa, I believe. I adore her. She always has a good rate for me. And it's, is it a tarp load? I don't remember, but I really, really love working with her. But in general, Oklahoma, also, you might be able to get something if you wait, but that's my experience. What I mean is I'm getting shown ads during your live stream. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to say to that? Um, Recently, there's been an increase in fraud, including double brokerage and other scams. What are the reasons, in your opinion, behind this trend? Money, lack of money. I think that when people are struggling, I think when people are not able to make money, they start looking for other ways to do so. And often it leads to fraud. Yeah. Attention broker company Freight Base MC 1440517 is refusing to pay agreed price that we have on the rate confirmation. They're telling us that we faked the rate confirmation and want to pay $1,000. Okay, so in this case, it's very, very easy. They think you faked the rate confirmation. Very easy. Do you still have the email where they sent you the rate confirmation? Forward it to them. Always, 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 always keep a paper trail. I haven't deleted one single email from brokers I have worked with from 2019. I actually got a notification on my inbox saying that you're running out of space, time to pay out. But yeah, never delete the paper trail. If they say you faked the rate confirmation, shoot them the email that they used to send you the rate confirmation in the first place. Yeah. Uh, is it true that 80% of brokers are sitting on drugs? I don't know, Danny. I don't know. I know that there was that book written where it really seemed like that. I don't think so. Um, Maybe the younger generation is using maybe not drugs, but coffee and some caffeine and additives to just stay awake. I have no idea. Let's see. It's really simple. We go on strike and demand change. Yeah, it's simpler said than done. It's very hard to get people to actually do that. Very easy for people to talk about it, but no one wants to sit, and especially if you have equipment payments and default. Yeah, there was a time that I tried. Hey, hey, have a nice day. Thank you so much. You too. Let's see. Sorry, I had to post more than one message. There's a character. I see. No worries. Earl, spot market is the load board. It's basically the free market where rates depend on what the situation is today. Yeah, but that's basically the load board. Said they will freight guard report if they will ask for agreed price again. Can you imagine? Jeez. Hold on. I'm going to look up this broker. I'm curious. Yeah. Some people, I received a heartbreaking email from a guy who got freight guarded for absolutely no reason. And now he is in a really bad position. Interesting. Yeah, how long have they been in? Oh, they've been in the industry since 22. Um, well, their surety bond is Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company. So you can always, they don't want you to ask for a payment. No problem. Go and file a claim. Who else is buying Nikola stocks on verge of takeover? I don't know, but I'm not playing around with the stock market anymore because I tried with crypto and yeah, I that was not fun. Even though I only invested $100, but still. What is happening with the market last day for vans? I think the volumes went down, and I think the capacity that temporarily exited the market in January is back on the road. I think that's what it is. Oops. From where do you get chart for rate per mile for dry reefer and flatbed? You mean the spot market charts? I make them myself, but I use data from FTR Intel. FTR Intel. What you do takes a lot of time and effort. Is it realistic, you think, for an owner operator to do it for themselves and other trucks they own while also getting miles themselves? Um, oh, you mean dispatching? Yeah, it's it's hard. It's hard for an owner operator, and the thing is, it's the time aspect. Anyone can do it. It's not dispatching. Really, is not rocket science. It's simple to do, but the problem is you have to very often, in order to get a normal rate, you have to wait, and you're wasting so much time waiting. Yeah, I think there are people who can do it. There are folks who can wear many, many hats and just do everything. I'm not one of them. So I can't imagine what it's like, but realistically for most people, I think it would be a challenge in the sense of wasting so much time. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine, I'm thinking of one of my guys, I can't imagine him having to sit and book loads when he could be sleeping. It's a tiring job. And now you have to sit, and instead of sleeping, you have to book loads and negotiate with brokers and just do all of that. Mm. I helped for an Indian-based company and they didn't pay for 60 days. I threatened to report them to Punjabi radio. Dat Google reviews, they finally paid. That's one way to do it. Wow. Um, Hi, Miranda. I want to ask if in the future I want to add a truck to my fleet, do I need to create a new MC or just add it to the? No, no, no. Don't create a new MC. If you want to add a truck to your fleet, you add it to your existing MC. Yeah. Don't create a new one. Hello, Mr. Brownstone. There we go. The best way to get out of a dead zone is to grab a local load that might only go 500 miles and book something from that area next, maybe even less than 500 miles. Just get somewhere that has loads. I agree with you, but there are certain dead zones, like for flatbed right now. If you end up in Arizona, you have nowhere to go. To the right is New Mexico, which is dead. To the left is Southern California, which is dead. To the south is Mexico, which, unless you have the authority, you can't go to. To the north, it's either Utah, which is dead, or Nevada, which is dead, or Denver, Colorado in general, which is dead. And even if you decide to deadhead all the way through New Mexico, you're deadheading a lot because on the west side of Texas, it's dead. So Arizona is actually we haven't been in Arizona for a while. Same thing goes for Colorado right now. On the left, it's Utah. Top is Wyoming, although sometimes you can get lucky with Wyoming or Montana. To the right, what is it? Colorado, Nebraska. Nebraska, for the most part, is difficult unless you go all the way to the east side of Nebraska, closer to Omaha. Underneath that, it's Kansas, also a very difficult to get out of. Yeah, there are certain areas that are so dead that I mean, it's really hard. It's like a circle of death around them. Uh, can't believe you replied to me in a live. I've recorded the video from my phone when you replied. This will keep you like, oh, thank you so much, Fastway Dispatching. I appreciate the happiness. Whenever you go to dead areas like Colorado, always calculate in the rate when booking the load going into that location. $500 for fuel to deadhead out of that area applies to Florida also. Yes, I do have to agree with that. I am in the process of getting my CDL. Is it worth to get my own MC, be an owner operator, or to work for a company delivering fuel tank? Look, I don't know about fuel tank, but I can tell you this. If you're choosing right now in this market between having your own truck and opening your own MC, or having your own truck and leasing on to an established MC, I would say lease on to the established MC for one reason only. With a new MC, it's really, really challenging to get loads in this market because of the freight fraud. With an established MC, you still have your own truck, but you're working under an MC that already gained some reputation, there's still going to be some loads to choose from. I get a lot of emails from people who are like, I opened my MC and now I don't have any income coming in. And that's just, it's upsetting and it's heartbreaking. Are you in the Northwest? No, I am in California. I'm in California. Yeah. I'm kind of stuck here for the time being. One day I'll move. Um, how do you like onboarding exempt? Which truck stop they want even? I didn't fully understand the question, organic. Yeah, if you can repeat that for me, I would so appreciate it. Basically, scratch the boards with 250, 500-mile radius. If you find a load you can book that's 377 miles away, and there are many loads in that area, then set your new filters. Correct. Search loads going to there from that local area you're in. The pay won't be great, but it pays the fuel to get to the better load. Um, what do you think about the automotive space? Are the car transporters making money in this market? You know what? Last time I heard, and it's not that I heard, I read in certain groups that no, they're struggling as well. They're struggling as well. There was a moment when the market started going down where they were still doing okay. But as far as I know, they are, yeah, they're in the same boat as all of us. Executive order for $30 per mile. Oh, Lord. I'm from Pakistan and in the industry from the last 2 years, and I love to be here. My biggest problem I face is retaining the carriers, even with top quality service. They have become ghosts. Yeah, I think, yeah, I think you asked that question before. The question is, what are they saying is the reason for them leaving? Mm, absolutely. Yeah, either that or all of a sudden, magically, the volumes have to increase. Dispatcher did scam by using payment method crypto wallet account. That is terrible. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of scammy dispatchers, unfortunately. Again, when people have, first of all, this industry was flooded with brokers, dispatchers, carriers, everybody you can imagine when the market was good. And unfortunately, as this happens, there is going to be more potential for fraud as people feel like they are starving and they're not able to make money. That opens up more potential for fraud. Yeah, it's just upsetting, unfortunately. Too many trucks, too little freight. Exactly. Greetings from Jackson, Mississippi. Greetings. Anyone who gets their authority in this market is crazy and will fail. I try not to say that everyone who decides to do that will fail because I don't know. There are plenty of people who either have luck on their side or whatnot. But yeah, opening an authority in this market is going to give you challenges that a lot of folks who started before didn't face. 100%. The number one challenge is actually finding loads to move. So I'm going to skip over some questions that I answered, if you guys don't mind. Like, what's happening? There we go. Like this one. No, there we go. Like this one. But just to repeat this one, as far as I know, they're in the same boat as many of us. Yeah. So hi, Charles. Spot market is trash this weekend. Yes, it is. This whole week, since the beginning, since February 1st, has been kind of crappy. Um, let's see. What did I not answer yet? Oh. They're leaving for no reason. For example, when they agreed on the terms to work with us after that moment, they didn't pick up the call. They don't even reply to emails. I'm not making them sign any doc. Yeah, that's normal. That's the process of kind of getting clients. You're going to have a bunch fall off. Yeah, that's just the process of getting clients. The question is if you already have clients. See, you're saying like you're providing excellent dispatch services, but as I understand, these are folks who don't even know what kind of service you provide because they don't even get to that point. They fall off beforehand. The question is, are you losing clients that you have been dispatching and they're just leaving and saying, you know what, I'm going to go a different direction? What's going on with the freight in Upper California? Driver has been there for a week. So, question for you: dry van, reefer, flatbed, or some specialized equipment type? I know for flatbeds there is not much. Nothing is coming. Everything is closed from Oregon. Not always, but a lot of things are closed from Oregon. People don't want to go from like Portland down to Sacramento because that place, what is it called? In Oregon. It's on the border of Oregon and California. It's constantly being closed, so people are just not even taking loads to California right now. But California in general is a dead area, at least for flatbeds. I know that the rates, outbound rates, are increasing out of Southern California, Los Angeles, and Ontario for dry vans. Doesn't mean it's a good market. It's just a measure of rates over time. For reefers, it's also not good. So, yeah. Mm. Big brokers make big margins before AI will kick the office people out. Yeah, I would even argue at one point I actually said the way brokers vet carriers, it like I'm also watching Homeland right now. I don't know if you guys, any of you have watched it. It's about the CIA. The way they vet carriers sometimes feels like you're applying to be a CIA agent. It's insane, really insane. It's funny. I mean, funny in theory. I'm lease-on with a small company. I've been lied to profusely about multiple things. The owner is a Jekyll and Hyde. I am, where is the, out of Montana. Is it legal for a carrier to demand a certain amount of miles from me or a 12-month commitment with only the load board to work from? Well, first of all, no. If you are, so you're leased on with a small company. If they're telling you how many miles minimum you need to drive, you're no longer, are you classified as an independent contractor? Because if they're telling you how to work, yeah, you're not an independent contractor anymore. The fact that you're leased on tells me that you are probably classified as an independent contractor. Do you have your own truck or are you lease purchasing their truck? Are you using their truck? How does that system work? Uh, yeah. Yeah, boycott all you want, but there's always a carrier to take freight no matter what it pays. Yeah, unfortunately, that is very, very true. So the boycotting is a great theory, but in practice, unfortunately, it doesn't work as well. Um, I didn't skip your comment about freight base. I actually looked them up. What do you mean? I looked them up and we talked about freight base. We sent a proof. They don't care. They just said they will freight guard report if they call them again. Never happened for us in 8 years. Yeah, as I said, you have to file a claim. If they don't want you to ask them for more money, file a claim and show the only thing is you are risking still a freight guard, even if you file a claim once they find out. But what do you do in this case? I mean, you can just not do anything. Yeah, no, that's not how it should work. Are you sure it's that same broker? Did you check their email against Safer? But yeah, I did not skip your comment. Oh, thank you, Gilberto. Don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the petty things. Let's go. Yes, let's go. That is a great quote. um, oh, where was I? I'm sorry, guys. I lost my place, but I will find it. Because last time I think I answered to Dawn, correct? There we go. Yeah, so the cheaper the market gets and the less volume there is, the happier I am. we we need as much pressure on the industry so people can get out of this business quicker. Oh, only way for anything to change, oops, is when there will be less carriers. Uh, there's what you're saying is absolutely correct. Of course, no one can argue with that. But for me, I'm a little bit just my viewpoint is a little bit different. Maybe it's a little bit naive. Um, I think that I'm hoping more that there's going to be an increase in volume somehow. But yeah, and what you're saying is absolutely logical and correct. One of the ways that we can get better rates is if the FMCSA cracks down on all this double, triple, quadruple, quintuple brokering that is happening right now. It's become a normal thing for them. Yeah, apparently they have just been given the power to actually start cracking down. And I think one of the ways they're doing that, and this is something that pissed a lot of people off because it was talked about before, is any carrier or broker who uses a PO box or some like weird address is going to be flagged. The question is, what does that do to the owner operators? And what does it do to people? I know of people like this who actually don't have um, any place they live. They live in their truck and they use a PO box for documents. What happens to them? Okay, I answered this question. Yeah, again, question to you, independent contractor wise. All carriers and brokers should study the Motor Carrier Act of 1980. I need to study that. I know of it. I know the gist of it, but yeah. What happened this week? Everything went south. The rate just crashed out of nowhere. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like January 31st was okay. February 1st, just pew. Yeah. Woohoo, caught your live. Welcome. Hi, Josh. Um, I'm a dispatcher. I face a lot of problems to deal with new MC, like 2 months authority MC for box trucks. So how can I get Georgia lanes from brokers? So you're a new dispatcher and you are not getting loads because of the fact that it's too new of an MC. Yeah, that's the issue that a lot of people unfortunately are having. And that's why when someone asks me, is it better to open my own MC or lease onto a carrier with my own truck? I say lease onto a carrier. The only thing you can do in this case is just you have to just work a little bit harder at trying to find brokers. Like when you're searching on the load board, it's not going to be as easy as just finding a load you like, calling on that load, and expecting to get it. You'll have to go down the list of the brokers who post and hoping that one of them doesn't have this requirement of a certain age of MC. Another thing, although I don't know if it's going to work in this market, is keeping a reference list. This might work in an area where there is not enough capacity, a very desperate broker who might make an exception for you because you're the only truck available to haul his or her load. A reference list of brokers who you have worked with before with phone numbers, names, email addresses, who have good things to say about you. Just keep that just in case. Mhm. Okay. Again, I'm going to, sorry, skip through some that I answered already. Hi, AJ Franklin. Why only take loads from the spot market when trying to get out of a dead zone? What about private individuals just looking to haul something? Isn't that better than just deadheading? You know what? There's a very good point. The reason is credit score. Are they going to pay? That is the reason. Now you might say, well, they can pay up front. I do believe there's a load board for that, actually. I do believe there's a load board to haul for literally private individuals, but no, we've never tried that. You're welcome. Thumbs up. Um, Interesting. Motor carriers can establish an equilibrium and maintain a balance of power across brokers, carriers, if we unite within one centralized open communications platform. Doable. Someone is trying to do something similar to get people together. um, Truck stop requires so much data to onboard, little data leak, and that's a lot. Oh, okay, now I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, they collect, that's one of the big questions, right? That was a question with the highway onboarding system, for example. They collect so much information, sometimes ridiculous information. If there is a leak, it kind of, instead of preventing fraud, on the contrary, there's more fraud. Me so hungry. I'm also hungry. My stomach is growling. I still have 3 hours of fasting. Shit. Excuse me. Ah. um, we were just talking about it. Hi, I love the channel, but want to ask you what you think about highway demand ELD access in order to certify a carrier. I think it's ridiculous. I think the demands that are placed on carriers are ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that highway allows brokers to ask for title documents to the truck to certify a carrier. I think it's ridiculous that there is a thing called, what is it called? Verified carrier that asks carriers to pay a monthly fee and give their bank account login information for brokers to be able to log in and see that their address on the bank account matches the address on the FMCSA. All of it is ridiculous. We are not CIA agents here. We are carriers that perform very, very important, an important job for the United States, right? Especially truckers. And the amount of hoops you have to jump through in order to get some load is unbelievable. Sorry, went off on a tangent there. I just interviewed Highway on this very topic, ELD connection. It makes sense. It's a fraud prevention technique, replaces need for inspections. I don't like, I don't think, I think the amount, if it was just an ELD connection, fine, but they opened up the door to send title documents or send the payments that you make on this truck or send the full VIN, take a photo of yourself with a paper saying 4375 while holding your CDL and smiling next to your truck. Oh, God. Highway RMIS Project 44. My favorite onboarding system is My Carrier Packets. Number one, it's quick. Number two, in my experience, brokers who use My Carrier Packets are the nicest people. It just happens this way. Number two is RMIS. I don't mind RMIS. I'm making more Uber driving. Yeah. Medford, Oregon. Is that where they closed down the roads? You know what? We were in a different place. It wasn't Medford. It was probably near there, but I remember. I forgot. Hello there, Madame. Hi, Ahi. Donner's Pass closed down for hours yesterday before they allow us pests with chains. Yeah, everything. Well, I mean, everything. Chain orders, and a lot of people, they just don't know what the laws are with chains, which is annoying. Interesting. Sorry, guys. All right, let's see. Okay, if you have your own trucks and you own them, and you're leased onto a carrier, that's the question we're at. Yeah. You're leased onto a carrier and they're telling you that there is a minimum amount of miles you have to drive. You're no longer really yeah. What else do they control? That's my question. They're not supposed to control anything you do. You are actually, to be really an independent contractor, you don't even Like in the perfect situation, you can't even be requested to only work exclusively for that company. Yeah. Brokers will become extinct soon. Circle Logistics and a few other big brokers have AI script to answer the phone, and they're very responsive. I have booked 2 loads with an AI. Everything went fine. I am aware of the Circle Logistics, but oh my God, I have a funny story to tell. I had a very, very embarrassing experience with a broker. I forgot who the broker was. Basically, I called on this load, and this girl picked up and I asked a couple of questions and then I was like, okay, thank you. And I hung up because I was convinced that it was AI. So I call the direct line to be connected to the girl listed on the posting. And again, same voice, same script. I'm like, what the hell is this? I hang up. Then I call again, and this girl again says hello. And I'm like, are you a real person? And she's like, yeah, you seemed pretty mad at me before. I'm like, I'm not mad. I thought you were AI. I couldn't figure out if I'm talking to a human being or a robot. It was really embarrassing, but she was super nice. Can people who live in California grow peach, avocado, or mango trees in their backyard? Mango, I don't know. Peach, I don't know. Avocado, absolutely. Don't mean to pry or get too personal. Just curious. You work with family. I've always imagined it a brother or uncle situation. I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, it's a family business. Yeah. Everyone wishes to aggregate visibility over capacity. At this stage of tech, we can share these resources in a more sophisticated way. Correct. Sent the same super chat earlier. You're absolutely right. Um, I want to make my own authority with 2 paid off trucks. How about taking loads from Amazon? I'm from Ontario. Look, my experience with Amazon is really no experience at all. I signed up with them in the, you know what, it was the end of 2021. I think is when I signed up with them when the market was really, really good. And the moment I signed up and looked at the load board and realized that their rates were a good 50 cents to a dollar below the load board rates is the moment I decided, no way, I'm working with Amazon. So that's my experience with Amazon. And I have heard people saying that Amazon is even worse now. Do you know the Caucus Express Carrier Company? They sound very familiar for some reason, but I can't say that I know them. Hi, I started my dispatching work, but for me, really difficult to understand native. What should I do? You mean like English? Ooh, here, my biggest recommendation is you have to practice the English. Yeah. I'm learning Spanish right now. It's really hard. I thought I would have an easier time considering the fact that I speak French. No, the only 2 words I have found that are similar to French is facile and difficile. That's it. Oh, I gotta love Duolingo. How hard is it to hire a driver? It's very easy to hire a driver. To find a driver who is going to be a fit for your company due to your insurance requirements is challenging. Finding that person who is going to be accepted by insurance is challenging. I often tell the story. We once found a guy who had incredible experience. Everything was perfect. He happened to have a speeding ticket in a school zone, and my insurance just said absolutely not. It was really annoying. How do drivers in US get CDLs and can't speak English? I believe I don't know if there still are. There were some programs where everything is translated, but it is illegal on a federal level. When you drive a semi truck, there is actually, according to the FMCSA, you are supposed to speak well enough English in order to understand the officer and what he's saying to you and to understand signs. Yeah. The LTL market is horrible too. Yeah, I've heard that. It's terrible. I've heard that a lot of bigger companies are also struggling with it. So I know I'm super behind. I do apologize. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to catch up. Do you think it's a good time to get authority? Look, I don't like answering this question, and I'll explain why. First of all, I don't like giving advice to anyone. I like giving information and for people to make their own decisions. I think that in this market, it's important to understand that if you get your own authority, you are running the risk of not being able to book as many loads depending on the market you're in. Because of the fraud, because of the fact that brokers are overly cautious, because of the hoops they force carriers to jump through, regardless of how long a carrier has been in this market, it's very, very hard to book a load when your MC is new, you have no inspections. Yeah, I think it's a better idea to lease on to an established carrier in this market. You just will have more success, at least getting the loads. Do you know something about any announcements of President Trump? I remembered that he helped us when he was president. No, I honestly, I'm so busy with trucking specific news. I actually don't have time to read any other news. It's either trucking specific news or, family life or booking loads and making sure the company is okay, fighting with people who try to charge something here or do something there. So I haven't heard anything. You know what? That is a good question. I actually cannot answer it at the moment because, um, hmm, yeah, I cannot answer it at the moment because I don't know much about it. I need to do research. I need to do research. Which one is better, DAT or truck stop? DAT is better for reefers, dry vans, I believe specialized trucks. Truck stop is the load board of choice for open deck, flatbed, step deck, hot shots. Yeah, we need to nationalize the trailers, all drop and hook operators only responsible for moving freight. Interesting idea. Oh, by reading these comments, it's blatantly obviously obvious what is wrong with trucking. Oh, there is a lot of wrong with trucking. I love this industry, but there's a lot of things wrong with trucking. But I appreciate the comments. I learn from you guys when you ask me questions. Sometimes I get corrected, and that's how I learn too. Um, okay. Can you tell me about brokers who are working with new MCs except for TQL? At this point, I'm not sure. A lot of the brokers who used to work with MCs now have new requirements. TQL, as far as I know, is one of the only big brokers who works with new authorities. They do tend to, from what I hear, blacklist some carriers for absolutely no reason. They will not give you a reason why. Your best bet is finding smaller brokers, smaller old school brokers. There are a couple. There are a couple. I always remember RM Brown, the brokerage, and the guy there, old school broker, and he taught me so much. He was incredible. But yeah, your best bet is looking for the small brokers, the unknown brokers who, of course, check their credit score, make sure that they're okay to work with. But also remember that small brokers are one of the biggest users of Carrier 411. Yeah, statistically, as far as I know. Correct. I agree. All these ideas about sticking together for rates is fun to talk about, but will never happen. Someone will always pull that $1 per mile load. Unfortunate but true. We're our own worst enemies out here. Yeah, unfortunately, that is very, very true. Let's see. I am going to answer just a few more questions, and then I am going to go and finish up my work week. Let's see, what have I not answered yet? Hardcore polka rock music. I actually I one of my favorite singer is Aurora. You know, the one who, what is it called? What is that? Runaway. That song. I love her song, The Seed. Yeah, this is lately, but I listen to everything. I don't have a specific genre. I can listen sometimes. The only thing I don't listen to is country. I don't know why. I just can't get into it. I have listened to Corn, Make Me Bad. It's one of my favorite songs. I'm all over the place. Okay, that question was personal. So three more that relate to trucking. Do. You mentioned no clicks on big broker postings on truck stop. I was hauling JB Hunt hazmat load in May from Illinois to Maryland. Yeah, I mentioned, yeah, correct. I feel like the big brokers, not I feel like when I look at the load board, the big brokers are really not, it's always be the first to view or low views, no matter where it goes. Brokers are definitely having hard time finding capacity, just not this week. Seems slower than usual, than a usual February, and all illegals not show up for forums. So fingers crossed at 2025. Um, yeah, no, this week it hasn't been. The negotiating power is not what it was before. Like in January. In January, I could feel like, yeah, you can really negotiate well. Thank you, Killer for Cash. I have to know what's the origin of Ready Let's Go. I was thinking about that myself. I don't know. I remember the first video I did, I used to do like not a Ready Let's Go. I used to do like a crazy like let's go something like this. I don't know. I don't know how it came to be. It just happened. There is no origin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Hi Miranda, love the channel. What's the best gas card for gasoline, not diesel? Thanks so much. I actually don't know. I have never used a fleet card for regular gas. In terms of for diesel, I can recommend something. I use RTS, but regular gas, I don't know. Does anyone know? um, let's see. All right, since you asked twice, this is a vape. It's a vape. Yeah. I used to smoke, yeah, I used to be a heavy smoker. And unfortunately, I never could kick my nicotine habit. So I decided vape is a little bit better than cigarettes, although that is questionable. Yeah. What kind of tools and AI? I know I'm going over the three questions. It's okay. What kind of tools and AI where is it? Are you currently using? I use Airtable. This is for my everyday, day-to-day operations for everything. I do not use AI. Yeah, no, I do not use AI. I use Google Maps. I use QuickBooks for invoicing. I use the cash flow calendar to make sure to keep track of the cash flow. I use an extension on the load board to help me book loads quicker or to send emails quicker. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Been a motor carrier since 2012, currently director of operations of 5MC. Have been following you for a while, but hadn't had time to dive into the comments. 96 of all carriers. Well, I'm glad that you joined the live. What do you know about cargo van loads? Not much. My kind of focus is the flatbed or open deck trailers, reefer and dry van. 96.5 of all asset-based carriers possess 10 or less power units. That is correct. Most carriers that make up the trucking industry are small carriers. 100%. Okay. 3 more questions, and then I do have to go. I'm having so much fun, but I do have to keep myself on schedule here. Okay, Costco gas card is good, apparently. Thank you, Hanny. Um, let's see. Miranda, can you prove that you aren't an AI generated carrier or character? How? How do you want me to prove it? You know what? It's funny. This is actually a problem. It seems like everywhere you look, because AI is so big, everywhere you look, you see AI. And again, that's the problem I had with that one broker. Uh, hello, let's make Drage great again. Um, that is the question. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not, unfortunately. If I was AI, I would not have these dark circles under my eyes. My hair would be perfect. I stood in the rain, so it's not. um, all right. I think. Would love to do a session, and I'll be posting which tools I'm using to be more effective. Next week, we'll be making more content on how to approach direct shippers and manufacturers. Love it. All right, guys, I am going to bounce if you guys don't mind. Apparently now I am AI. I'll take it. That's good by me. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining and watching today. I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys asking your questions and being able to learn from you all. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.